Athens. It was never ever likely to be played in Belgrade, and ultimately we find ourselves in the small Dutch town of Heerenveen, about 60 miles northeast of Amsterdam, for the start of Leeds United's 11th assault on the remodelled UEFA Cup. Welcome indeed to the Abe Lenstra Stadium, just 5 years of age, and named after a famous Dutch striker of yesteryear. If you've ever passed the Walsall ground by the car park that is the M6, you'll know exactly the sort of ground that we're in. Leeds have a fine record in this tournament. They're the most successful British team in the competition's history. Twice winners, once runners-up. But in Partizan Belgrade they face a side even younger than them, more experienced in Europe than them, and full of the type of young players that would have Italian scouts flocking to Belgrade if only they were allowed to fly there. Many of them have come here instead to see these players, and they'll be looking at a lineup that has 3 full Yugoslav internationals. Razovic scored the 2 penalties that beat Newcastle in the Cup Winners' Cup last season. Kristajic, the left-sided defender, is a current international. Likewise, Đorđe Tomic, the playmaker in midfield, wearing number 10 there. The average age of this bunch of players, just 22. The Leeds manager, David O'Leary, hasn't been able to see Partizan in the flesh. The Foreign Office is advising British subjects not to travel to Belgrade. He points out with some frustration that he in fact is Irish, but a lack of information has prompted him to go against his natural instinct and select 5 men in midfield today, with Michael Bridges a lone striker. This is the way the team shapes up. Gary Kelly starts for the club for the first time in 16 months, and with Michael Dewberry out injured, Jonathan Woodgate returns at the back. This one of 5 UEFA Cup matches being played today around Europe. There are 43 more on Thursday, which is when this game would have been played, except that Thursday is market day in Heerenveen, and the local mayor ruled that the market took precedence. David Batty sent off in Warsaw, outstanding at Coventry on Saturday, and playing the shielding role in front of the Leeds back 4. As you can hear, there is a partisan atmosphere, if you will forgive the pun. Yugoslav supporters based in Belgrade have been unable to obtain visas, so the Partizan fans here are largely expatriates from Germany, and the referee is from Germany as well, Herbert van der. Leeds, as you can see, are in their change colours of sky blue shirts and dark blue shorts. The Leeds bench with the likes of Alfie Haaland and Partizan, known throughout Europe as the black and whites, playing from the left in this first half. And alongside me, the vastly experienced European campaigner himself, Trevor Brooking.
Well, it's a tight little ground. I mean, although there aren't that many people here, I mean, there's a couple of thousand Leeds supporters behind the goal to our left, and well, a couple of hundred Partizan to our right, but they're making plenty of noise, and because it's a small little ground, the atmosphere actually is better than probably back home you might think, so the players shouldn't need too much to lift themselves.
Well, this is Vladimir Ivic, who's a powerful runner from central midfield. The covering defender for Leeds is their captain, Lucas Radebe, and he's given it away to the opposition central midfield player, Đorđe Tomic. The midfield trio in this Partizan side, from the sketchy videos that David O'Leary has been able to see, are quite a powerful triumvirate. Free kick awarded by the German referee in Partizan's favour. It's not the first time that Leeds have had to play a European tie at a neutral venue. Of course, they had to replay a European Cup tie against Stuttgart, who fielded an ineligible player in the early 90s and played that match in Barcelona. And the Nou Camp with 10,000 in is rather like this stadium with 3,000 or 4,000 in, which is what we have today. Bowyer nicking the ball to Kewell. Bowyer then having to battle for possession and committing a foul. Spiky character, Lee Bowyer. Branko Savic is the Partizan player who went down injured. And as we watch the indiscretion again, which was a stud down the back of the calf, Lee Bowyer has received a lecture from the referee.
Very lucky not to get a yellow card. I mean, it was almost jumping at the ball, wasn't it? His leg got in the way. So a lecture, but it could have been a card, and I don't think he'd have had to quibble about it either.
It was Kristajic He played in the Yugoslav side that won 4-2 in Macedonia last week. And it is not, Trevor, a side that is packed with well-known international names, this Partizan side, but there's a whole host of Yugoslav under-21 internationals, the sort of Mijatovićes of the future, if you like.
I think anyone who's played against sort of players from that part of the world know that their skill level is always excellent. And remember, probably the best under-18 side I ever played against was the Yugoslavians. They keep it so well. Sometimes they just lack the incisiveness in the final third, and perhaps we'll have to see whether this young team have got that experience up to now. But if we are test for Leeds, they can't be complacent.
Hart with the free kick for Leeds to Harry Kewell. Well, to be able to recover possession. Batting. Bowyer is strayed offside, so too quite probably was Michael Bridges. Bridges playing effectively as a lone striker. And the likelihood is that Smith and or Huckabee will appear in the game at a later stage to relieve him.
You need relieving if he doesn't get too much support from midfield. I mean, Kewell naturally wide on the left will be encouraged to be the man to join. Gary Kelly's playing wide on the right, and then Lee Bowyer probably of the midfield three, Hopkin and Batty doing more of a holding job.
Here's Razovic, a name that won't go down well with Newcastle supporters. He scored penalties home and away against them in the Cup Winners' Cup last season. Krstajic, Sasa Ilic, and now Kezman, who fell over under the challenge of Woodgate. Batting. Bowyer with a good recovery tackle, it seemed. He took the ball cleanly, but there may just have been a tug at the shirt. The indiscretion committed, and Matej Kezman lining up for the free kick, who is very much Partizan's star turn. Only 20 years of age, and those Italian and Spanish scouts that are here today have largely come to watch him. Trobok. Stanijevic. And now Branko Savic, who's recovered from that foul by Bowyer. Good defending by Radebe. Well, the referee doesn't seem to like the approach of Lee Bowyer. That's the third time he's pulled him up for a free kick.
I mean, back home, sort of an interception like that with the foot up wouldn't be penalised, but of course anywhere in Europe, as soon as you raise the leg, even though it made contact with the ball, it's deemed dangerous.
Ivic. Trobok. Krstajic is wide on the far side and is making a run behind Gary Kelly, and this is Krstajic!
Well, that was a chance. Good play. I like the number 18, Ivic. Looks very controlled on the ball, and Krstajic coming inside is very much left-footed, and he just got away from Gary Kelly and actually just needed the right foot, didn't he? He tried to hit a curler with the outside of his left foot, and running inside like that's got to be some strike.
Hopkin making life uncomfortable for Trobok. Two of them having a minor disagreement. Partizan, by the way, are extremely unhappy at having to come to Northern Holland to play this game. They're convinced, according to their officials, that there's some sort of conspiracy going on between UEFA and Leeds to make sure they go out at the first hurdle of the competition. They have already come through 3 qualifying rounds for the Champions League, eventually going out to Spartak Moscow. Hart's free kick. Radebe. Over the head of Bridges, but Bridges will pick it up and will cross it just over the head of Gary Kelly. Back in by Bowyer, and here's Hopkin. Play on, off the bar, and the flag up on the far side. The Leeds supporters behind the goal have seen that David Hopkin has gone down poleaxed, and some of them started cheering, thinking that the referee was pointing not for a free kick, but for an infringement that might have brought Leeds a penalty.
You can see the challenge there. That's the offside flag though, when it's broken and hit the woodwork, Gary Kelly. But the initial challenge on David Hopkins would have led to the penalty if he hadn't been Gary Kelly in that position. But so I think what happened after this challenge was all secondary, because the flag went up for the offside. Just as well to see him get up there, because it was very nasty.
David Swift is the Leeds physiotherapist as we see the challenge again.
I mean, you know, although the flag has been raised, why not show the yellow card? That was at least a yellow card tackle. I mean, there's no bearing the fact that he was in offside. The challenge was horrendous.
David O'Leary, alone at this moment with his thoughts high in the grandstand here. Hasn't been the ideal preparation for this game. He likes to see the opposition naturally enough in the flesh. And actually had a jet plane waiting for him on the tarmac at Leeds Bradford Airport, ready to go at a moment's notice to take him to Belgrade. But government restrictions, as advised by the Foreign Office, are such at the moment that travel is actively discouraged to that part of Yugoslavia.
I think one of the areas they're always concerned of as a coach, if you haven't seen the side play, is you know, is there a player perhaps who's got exceptional pace or a little bit of trickery, but more often than not, set pieces, you know, who's going to mark at free kicks and so forth.
Miodrag Jesic, the Partizan coach, former player with the club and a one-time Yugoslav international.
Been fairly dismissive of UEFA, hasn't he, in the build-up as well?
I don't think he'll be getting an executive position with them in the next few months, Trevor, no. On by Kezman. Hart, the defender. Bit of a tangle involving Savic and Kewell. Partizan get the decision. Tomic. Here's the balanced player who's told to get up, having lost his balance.
Never ceases to amaze me when the English team is struggling to try and find left-sided players, to see how many there are in opposing European countries. I mean, this team here got 3 natural left-footers without even looking around.
And Leeds have got David Batty, who by all accounts was their best player at Coventry on Saturday. Took a great deal of stick from the crowd at Highfield Road, but apparently revelled in it. Hart's kick. Kewell, was a good leap. Woodgate. Illich. Mills. Ball given against Danny Mills, for whom this is a European debut. You seem to be hearing an awful lot of the referee's whistle.
Yeah, I think perhaps because of you know, the build-up to the match and whatever. I think the referee understandably is going to clamp down on anything. I mean, we've seen a couple of naughty tackles already, Lee Bowyer and then the tackle on David Hopkins. So making sure it just doesn't boil over into anything other than a competitive football game.
Batty. Just too high for Hopkin. And by Ivic, and Kezman's off in pursuit of this. Nonsense by Radebe. Kelly. Came off Kristajic. Kept in play by Stanijevic. Now Leeds do have the throw. Holding given against Radebe. I don't think David O'Leary is too happy with one or two of the refereeing decisions.
I think we could lip read, I don't believe it. He thinks the game is being disrupted. There's no flow to it at the moment. But you know, what is a good result? I think anything other than defeat, isn't it? You're always looking as well, if possible, for the away goal. Eddie Gray there wouldn't be bad in getting an away goal for his side.
Possibly from this free kick taken by Hart, and they've not really picked up Kelly. There are 5 waiting in the middle. Headed out by Ivic. No surprise to hear the whistle again. It was Ivic who took a bit of a clattering after clearing the ball. Well, you wouldn't know it from the opening 13 minutes of this fixture, but Partizan are normally a very good side to watch. Average age of just 22. The oldest player is this man, the goalkeeper, Damjanac, who's 27. And their unbeaten run in league competition in Yugoslavia stretches back the same length of time as Manchester United's current unbeaten sequence, 27 matches. And this season it's played 3-1-3 in domestic competition. Batty to Bowyer and offside. There wouldn't have been a great deal in that. That's enough to bring the flag.
Yeah, good ball from David Batty outside of his right foot into the channel. Look, when the ball was played, is he offside? No. And that's why you said it was close. And Lee Bowyer knows it was very close, and frustration.
Euphemisms are a commentator's speciality, Trevor. This is nice play. Kezman. Cleared by Mills. Kuhl. To be being held, and the referee concurred. Savic, the offender. There's an arm lock. Now Jonathan Woodgate has come forward from the back. He's on the far side of the penalty area, joined now by Radebe. And a committee comprising Hopkin, Bowyer and Hart deciding how this should proceed. Kelly is forward as well. Taken by Hart, and Kelly's header. Nephew to uncle, but wide of the post.
Well, he's very good at set pieces, Hart. Dangerous, of course, shooting. And you know, if you look at Radebe, Woodgate, about the only two of decent height, so putting it in at pace makes sense, really.
Batty. Mills. Hoisted in for Kuhl. Bridges is making a run off him, and Savic wasn't quite sure of his position. Bowyer. This is better from Leeds. Kelly. Now Batty. Mills. Razovic's header. Handel has given Leeds the free kick this time.
Gary Kelly just inviting the tackle. I think it was number 10, Tomic. No surprise to see Hart going across from that side, no doubt curling it back in towards the goal.
And once more, both centre-backs have come forward. And the same three are over the ball as took the last set piece. Hopkin this time. Headed out by Kristajic. Kuhl appeals for handball, but if it was ball to hand and not hand to ball. Iliev. Kezman waiting in the middle, put out by Kelly, and then Radebe. Kuhl to Bowyer. Bridges. Lovely play from Leeds, and this is Lee Bowyer with Bridges gaining ground in the middle.
It was a great counter-attack by Leeds, wasn't it? Iliev had got clear on the other side, and really Lee Bowyer, I think, a little square ball to Harry Kuhl, 5 yards inside him was the pass, went for a bit of glory, scuffed it, and it bobbled harmlessly into the near post.
Interesting that the goalkeeper is giving way to Kristajic to take the goal kicks, having taken the first few himself, Damjanac. Kelly. Bridges. Batty. Now Mills. Ivic. Talk about going round Ian Hart. Nice pause to ponder. Tomic to Iliev. Kezman and Ivic both available inside the penalty area. That was obstruction by Danny Mills.
A little neat approach though. Iliev, I think he's only 19 as well, the other striker, isn't he? So two really youngsters to have the responsibility to try and score goals for their team in this particular important game.
Well, Kristajic, the tall defender wearing number 20, is a real threat from these set pieces. Scored twice in one of the Champions League games against Rijeka. On by Kezman, and there's Savic. A scare for Leeds.
Danny Mills did well, because look at Danny Mills at the back post there. He suddenly sees Savic clear, comes in at 2 or 3 yards, just enough to put him off, because it was hanging there and he had to wait to head it down, but otherwise it would have been unmarked. That was that area, that set piece area. David O'Leary was so concerned, you know, who's to pick up, and certainly number 3 Savic is tall and he had nobody on him there marking.
Bridges. Support coming from Hopkin. Hart towards Bridges. Too much pushing and pulling and shirt tugging for the referee's liking. So had it been on target, it would not have counted.
No, just a little nudge in the back. Good cross though from Ian Hart.
Woodgate. Bridges. Iliev. Tomic. Through to Kezman, who is onside. Martin spills it, and Tomic has scored from the goalkeeper's fundamental error. Nigel Martin crestfallen as Georgia Tomic brings celebrations from the Partizan supporters.
Well, I think it was a double error there, because Danny Mills, watch Danny Mills here, look at him, standing squill, lets the player get behind him, and it was Kezman who had the shot. Wasn't the best of shots, comfortable height for Nigel Martin, quite right, he should have saved it, and Tomic capitalised, but I think 2 defensive errors there contributed to that goal.
Georgia Tomic, once of Atletico Madrid and Guingamp in the French league, and one of the silky players in this central midfield area. This may just give Partizan the lift-off that they required, and at the right-hand end of the ground, the flares are going off amidst the small pocket of Partizan supporters. It's like a little piece of Belgrade in the northern Netherlands.
Well, after having a good little spell of 1 or 2 attacks and possession, Leeds United, David O'Leary, they're very disappointed. That was a soft goal conceded, as I say, 2 defensive errors. They've conceded too many goals, I think, for his liking this season in the Premiership.
Bridges up in pursuit of that, guided back by Stanijevic. They're getting 9 so far. Jesic with no such problems at this stage. He was actually part of the Partizan side that knocked out Queen's Park Rangers from European competition in the mid-80s. This is Cure. Leeds looking for an immediate riposte, and they've won a corner.
Well, that Savage, the number 3, was taking deep gulps down that right flank there. Harry Kewell just ran in, and it's a clear indication for Leeds United. Let's isolate him 1 against 1, and Harry Kewell can get past him comfortably.
Again, the big man up from the back. Leeds have 6 players in or just outside the Partizan Belgrade penalty area. Hart to take. And here's Bridges. Well, he scored a goal not dissimilar to that sort of position against Southampton. Part of his hat-trick. And only his second game for the club, but I think he prefers it on his left if he had a straight choice. And that was on his right.
Yeah, just flicked it up, didn't he? Just needed probably a little bit wider the goal. It was a straightforward shot, comfortable height and in the centre, so never troubled Daminac.
Huge clearance by Stanijevic. Some of the smoke beginning to clear. There's an orange smoke bomb has gone off behind the right-hand goal and may trouble Nigel Martin in a moment. It's been lobbed into the moat between the supporters and the playing area. And none of the stewards are too certain as to whether they should go too close to it. Approach with caution. Would be orange, being in Holland, I suppose.
The worrying thing, what happens at the end when it stops smoking, isn't it? I don't think I want to find out anyway.
Well, if 200 Partizan supporters can be as hostile as this, Leeds are indeed fortunate not to be playing in front of 50,000 of them in the Partizan Stadium.
Yeah, pretty hostile to everyone getting off the coach as well, weren't they? So I think it is a sensible decision, and at the moment their side reacted well. They're 1-0 up, aren't they?
But Leeds have this free kick given for the clunk in the head, pointed out to Harry Kewell. Daminac trying to organise those in front of him. 9 players back inside the penalty area to defend. Radebe and Woodgate on the far side of the area together with Danny Mills. Swung in by Hart. Mills was going for that, and Stanijevic headed it up and beyond his own crossbar.
Looked very threatening every time that comes in. Good delivery. And at the moment Partizan having to keep their concentration to make sure that Leeds don't get a clear header.
One or two Leeds substitutes warming up as Leeds prepare to take this. And it'll be Ian Hart to swing it in. Punched by Daminac. Here's Bowyer. Well struck! Lee Bowyer with a gem of a left foot drive. Just what Leeds required.
It's a great goal. Daminac not the most convincing of punches, but there's still a lot to do here. One touch with the right and an absolutely sweet half volley with the left. Really was good delivery, which is, as I say, has troubled Partizan. Nobody on the edge of the penalty area picking up Lee Bowyer, but a wonderful strike.
Well, Leeds visibly buoyed by that, because things have been going against them. The sight of the smoke bomb going off would not have gladdened their hearts exactly. But their answer on the pitch has been emphatic. Foul by Batty.
And let's not underestimate the importance of an away goal either in Europe. Nice to get one, to get level, but more than anything to get that away goal in the first half of a match like this.
Ivic. Tomic, back to Ivic. And Ilic. Sasha Ilic, the Partizan skipper at the age of only 21 and the scorer of the Leeds goal at the age of 22. Lee Bowyer, who is almost becoming prolific these days. His third goal of this season, and he contributed 9 from midfield last year.
Yeah, I think it's sort of getting the sort of record that brought him to everyone's attention and when he was playing for Charlton, and I think he does like this central role quite often in his early time at Leeds. He was stuck out wide on the right.
Forward by Hart, and Kewell battling with Stanijevic, did well to hoist the cross. Bridges and Kelly underneath it. Noticeable too, Trevor, that Gary Kelly is getting forward from that station on the right side of the five-man midfield at every opportunity.
Yeah, I think if you're playing five, Lee Bowyer can go from the centre and Kewell and Kelly from the flanks.
Cashman, Leeds have to be careful of him. And Cashman is still going, legs taken away, penalty for the trip by Lucas Radebe.
Well, it's a wonderful bit of skill, but what reckless defending. It's a yellow card for it as well. I mean, they had, I think, 1 against 4 here. Look, Kesman there seems to be blocked out by Bowyer and Mills. Toe ends it round him. Radebe comes in with a terrible two-footed challenge. I mean, it was a definite penalty. Well, a great feeling when they get level, and somebody with Lucas's experience, he puts his hand up. Honest ref, I didn't touch it, but he did.
And he was cautioned for it. And so it will be Lucas Radebe, who scored twice from the spot against Newcastle last season. Saved wonderfully by Nigel Martin. That wasn't far inside the post, and somehow he got across and down and fingertipped it around.
Well, all is forgiven, isn't it? That was a magnificent save. Gambled, went the right way, but it was still low. Hit well by Radebe. He must be wondering how it stayed out, but an excellent save.
He's level now after the mistake, isn't he? Ivic's corner, headed out by Batty. Trobot. Iliev was retreating from an offside position. Rapturous applause for Martin's catch. Woodgate. Krstajic. Bridges has cut off the route back to the goalkeeper. Here's Mills. Back from Kelly. Space for Danny Mills. Bridges. Difficult for him both to keep it within play and to keep the cross within bounds.
Gary Kelly's still down over the far side. I thought Danny Mills might have had a go actually. Still on the floor there.
It's worrying for him in that it was a shin injury that kept him out for all of last season, but happily he seems to be okay, and they are certainly okay, having made their way by land, sea and or air to this rather unlikely venue for a European tie. It was only decided by UEFA 6 days ago, and the Yugoslavs only received their visas to come here on Friday. Kelly in towards Bowyer, unmarked. Oh, mistake by Savic. Bowyer in there again, and Damianak's down bravely. Half a chance though. And referee Fandel is furiously blowing his whistle because he wants a word with Lee Bowyer about the challenge on the goalkeeper.
Lee Bowyer's run right back towards the halfway line, trying to get out of the danger area, and Partizan players were still following him up, and it is a yellow card he's got for that challenge. A huge amount of space for him, wasn't it? It just cleared him. Savage got caught in two minds, almost set up the shooting chance for him, and he felt he could have made, he was close enough to make the challenge on the keeper. I'm not sure, he did dive in on him when he had his hands on it comfortably.
It is worth saying that there is a change in the rules governing disciplinary action in European competitions this season. You now have to be booked 3 times before you're suspended for the following match. That was a foul on Bowyer by Kesman.
Well, if we weren't sure what sort of atmosphere and game we're going to get, we've certainly been a decent game, isn't it? The opening half an hour we had plenty of action, and just a little reminder perhaps from the young lad of Lee Bowyer up the other end, getting a bit of what they thought was his own medicine. But he's very competitive now, Bowyer, and he's got to be careful because he does pick up a lot of yellow cards in the Premiership.
Kewell's header on. Lazovic will want to let it run. Bridges doesn't want that to happen. Forced Lazovic to play it.
was a slight weak link, and that's number 3 Savage at the moment on the right flank. Doesn't look totally convincing for Partizan.
Hopkin. Hart. He's always been good at identifying the weaknesses of right-sided defenders, Trevor, of course. There's the penalty save again. The more you see it, the better it looks. Tomic took one look at Woodgate running in and decided not to challenge for that. Tomic. Kuzman beginning a run through the middle, and Tomic tried to chip Nigel Martin. He couldn't beat him from 12 yards, but thought that from 45 there was a chance.
I'll give him a few marks for vision. At least he did see Nigel Martin coming out just beyond the penalty spot, looking for the through ball, and decided to switch his attention, but the accuracy wasn't quite on target.
Ivic gives some difficulty from Batty. He's asking the referee why the free kick was given. Well, he did have him in an arm lock, I think, didn't he? Pure. And Michael Bridges, Razovic got his head to it. Stajic. Sasa Ilic. Ilya. There's not a great deal of natural width about this Partizan side, but they manufacture it with people like Stajic. There's no foul there. Kelly. Like a foul on Bowyer. No whistle. Hart. He's very good at using his body, isn't he, to shield the ball.
He's very strong, isn't he?
Product of the Australian Academy of Sport. Hart. Batty. Not too long for Gary Kelly. Oh, Krstajic gave up the chase and in the end was proved correct. Leeds are having enough of this game and creating enough opportunities to keep the majority of their sizable following fairly happy. Woodgate. Kuzman. Up by Radebe. Tomic. Ilic. Kuzman. Forward by Mills. Razovic was given a helping push by Bridges. David O'Leary in charge of Leeds for only the 48th time. 23 wins so far. It's a good record for a manager in his first year in the job.
Well, he's slotted into it, I think, well, better than even perhaps Leeds United could ever imagined. I mean, a lot of talk wasn't about who was going to go there, and David was acting manager for a while and then got the job out of the performances that went on in between, and has gone from strength to strength, and they've been an exciting side as we've seen today. They certainly don't think about going forward when the opportunity is there.
Maybe 5 in midfield, but the way the two wide players are getting forward. It is, on occasions, almost like playing with 3 men up. There's another foul by Bridges. Radebe. On the ground, he looks a little worried by Teja Kezman, who tripped for the penalty, but in the air he's been fairly supreme.
I think generally speaking it's been a good all-round performance with just 2 or 3 lapses, which at this level proves so costly, quite frankly. I mean, there's Danny Mills just ball watched and allowed his Kezman to get clear of him, and then Nigel Martin should have saved the shot. That was the first goal, and the second one, 2 or 3 defenders allowed Kezman to get the wrong side. Lucas Radebe dived in, other than those 2 lapses, but of course it's cost him, could have cost him 2 goals, but a great save from Nigel Martin. Radebe dived in, other than those 2 lapses, but of course it's cost him, could have cost him 2 goals, but a great save from Nigel Martin.
Another Leeds free kick, greeted with ironic applause from those followers who come from Yorkshire. Hart over the ball, Woodgate forward, and that was Woodgate, and Radebe fell over and somehow managed to hook it in! What an extraordinary finish! You lucky man! To try and head the ball, fall on your backside and still score. It's Lucas Radebe's day.
Well, here is Harry's just crumpled in a heap and flicked the right leg out. He knew exactly where the goal was. You've got to say the goalkeeper, Damjanets, where was he? It's right on the 6-yard box. He hasn't come. Jonathan Woodgate headed it up in the air. Look at that. Well, I think he'll be talking about that one on the flight home this evening, won't they?
If he claims that he planned that, I swear I'll never believe another word he says. Only his 2nd goal for Leeds in nearly 150 games. Leeds 2-1 up. Kewell tackled cleanly by Stanijevic. It was not a work of elegance and art, the goal, but it counts just the same as Lee Bowyer's terrific left footer. Kewell. Ian Hart. Bridges at the near post, it won't get that far. It's going to be a corner of Ivic.
Well, both goals have come from crosses, haven't they? Not being cleared properly.
Hopkin in towards Woodgate.
The delivery of Leeds is very good from out wide.
Referee has ruled that it flipped a Partizan head. And that's way out of place, so Leeds are going to have a corner kick. Hart. On by Kewell. Headed just wide by Michael Bridges.
I don't think he's on his knees out of frustration. I think he just clashed with somebody's head. First header, and then just as he's followed through at the near post, I think he's caught somebody on the side of the head, the defender, but wasn't far away, and he's got a cut, hasn't he? He's got a blood on his hand.
He's receiving treatment at the left-hand end. So Leeds temporarily are down to 10 men. If they can go in at half-time 2-1 up, having been 1-0 down, it'll be a job half well done. Hopkin. No Bridges, remember, at the moment, still off the field receiving treatment. So Kewell was on his own as Bridges is patched up.
Darren Huckabee and Alan Smith being told to warm up, but
Terry Butcher and John Weil revisited.
I don't think it's the sort of strapping that they'll expect to last up that long, but because the interval not far away, and then they'll have a look at it, probably get some stitches in.
Ilic, Tomic, Ilic for a second time, the third. And towards Kezman, whose first touch is usually secure. Fortunately for Leeds, it deserted him. Difficult ball to control.
Yes, I think he thought perhaps the Leeds defence were going to deal with it, and he was surprised when it came to him. But
the referee is going to book Michael Bridges for coming back on without the permission of the referee's assistant.
Can he plead concussion or?
Well, the German assistant on the far side signalled to the referee that he hadn't given permission for Bridges to come back on. The referee should also have been aware of his re-entry to the playing arena. And Herbert Vandel has issued a third yellow card of the evening, all to Leeds players. It's one for Hart to defend. Mills. Bridges, bandaged, has his arm upraised, wanting the cross. It's not tightly marked either at the moment. Bowyer inside the penalty area, so too is Hopkin. And Kuehl. This is Kelly. Good play by Kelly. And here's Harry Kuehl. Savic there first.
Well, did well, Gary Kelly. Looking sharp, doesn't look as if he's been out as long as one would have imagined. He is an excellent player. Almost like a new signing, isn't it, to come into the squad, because he can play fullback or wide in midfield where he is now.
Corner taken short. Hopkin. Bridges. Got there in front of the keeper and the defender. Kuehl. Bridges slow to get to his feet. Hart's cross. For handball, but advantage played as Leeds are in possession. And 1 minute of time to be added on at the conclusion of this first 45. Bridges. Trobot. Ilic. Kuehl. Tomic. Kuehl and Bowyer hunted well together, and this is going to be a yellow card for Trobot of Partizan.
And what an excellent half it's been for Leeds United. Going a goal down, they showed a lot of spirit and character. Nigel Martin made a mistake for the first goal, brilliant save for the penalty. Lucas Radebe, who dived in for the penalty, then promptly went up the other end and got the second goal. So good, positive attitude and approach. I'm sure David O'Leary would be delighted.
Now Woodgate is going to take this free kick. Kuehl. I don't think David O'Leary, Trevor, is ever totally satisfied, and no good manager is. But he will be, I think, as satisfied as he can be in the circumstances.
Yeah, I think the minus would be that, in the Premiership, Leeds have been conceding a few too many goals than he would like, and he would probably put, certainly the goal they did concede, as a soft one, and almost a second through the penalty if Nigel Martin hadn't made a good save. And with the possession and sort of performance they've had, they deserve to go in ahead.
Well, we've had the minute added on, so we're at the referee's mercy. This is Ivic. And that is half-time, highly satisfactory for David O'Leary and for Leeds United as they make their way off for some half-time words of guidance. Radebe, a central figure, giving away the penalty for a foul on Kezman, saved by Nigel Martin, athletically diving to his right from Razovic's kick. Partizan ahead early on through Tomic, pegged back by Lee Bowyer's excellent, crisply struck left-footed drive, and then Lucas Radebe with what frankly was rather a lucky goal, but who cares at this stage. 2-1 to Leeds at half-time, and Gary, be careful what you say in your half-time analysis, because BBC Two is very popular